Our next presenter, Nicole O'Connor, is a primary 3 teacher and a member of Blend Ed NI team, which is a group of teachers who are keen to encourage collaboration and support other teachers here in Northern Ireland. Nicole is going to talk to us about the use of video for enhancing teacher presence online. So, Nicole, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, I'll hand it over to you then.
Thank you very much. Can you see my screen okay there, David?
That looks great. Lovely.
Fab. Okay, to get started, I'm not used to a chat function being so quiet in any sessions that I deliver. So my first question just is for attendees just to pop into the chat. How have you used video during remote and distance learning? Because I'm sure some of us maybe dipped our toe into it a little bit, or some of us may have gone ahead and, upskill doing some asynchronous or even some synchronous video. So pop into the chat if you did dabble in some video during remote teaching that we had for a good solid 3 or 4 months, wasn't it? There we are. Some people popping in. Yeah, and there's someone saying about like reading stories for foundation stage children, and that's exactly what Roisin was just saying there about, you can use any virtual learning platform that you have, like Seesaw, Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom, to put up some videos to engage with children the way we would in the classroom. Oh, I love that. From caterpillars changing into butterflies, and like there's just bringing some world around us into their living rooms whenever we were remote. People going through transfers things. Yes, brilliant. These are all great ideas, and really all I'm going to do is show you some things that I used during remote and distance teaching, but it does not mean that this is the way to do it. It is just a way to do it, and it was what I found was useful. So thanks so much everybody for popping into the chat, and keep it going throughout this one. Really love that, Jennifer, about pastoral messages for the year group. That's so important when we're talking about teacher presence. So using video to enhance this teacher presence online. I'm going to start my presentation here. So start with why. The first thing is that it does help maintain these relationships and helps us all stay connected. So children should feel that their silly P3 teacher is still their silly P3 teacher, just because she's in Digiland, as we call it sometimes, doesn't mean that that they're still not your teacher. So we use, for my school and my key stage, we use it to improve engagement. We found when we just put up notes and just put up words to pupils that we didn't get as much interaction as we would have liked. But whenever we put a video and our voice in, children and parents were much more engaged with us. It was also a subtle way that we monitored attendance and almost took like a registration as such. We weren't saying like, here, Jimmy, is he here? Sammy, is he here? But we gave children some questions and some prompts that we wanted them to reply to us with. And it definitely does support well-being from a perspective of teacher visibility, not like especially for children who maybe rely a lot on the support of the teacher pastorally, that you haven't just gone off the grid and you're suddenly not there. The children will be able to see that you're there to support them. So there is a balance to be struck here between formal videos and informal videos. Your formal videos will be more your teaching tutorials and sort of any sort of guidance and help to help children with their academic works. But it's very important still, I think, just like we do in the classroom, to have an opportunity for children to have sort of little blips of their teacher's personality and little insights into who their teacher is. So you can, of course, make your formal videos, your asynchronous tutorials on Explain Everything, Keynote, PowerPoint, Google Slides, Book Creator, or directly within your VLE like Seesaw, whatever you want, you can go for that. And these are all very important, and there is a time and a place for them, as I said. But it's just not with the total exclusion of informal and light-hearted videos. A little bit like this. This is just, again, this is not the way, this is just a way. So I'm going to make sure, goodness me, I need to make sure that I have my sound sharing here. and I'm about to have the egg and spoon race. I'm taking part. Little Miss Egg is taking part. And Mr. Spoon. Who's gonna win? I am going to do the long jump. I don't trust my knee to do a sprint, so I'm going to do the long jump though. And as you can see, I've got my markers laid out to start off. Let's give it a go. How'd I do? Happy Thursday, Key Stage 1. Well, I beat the challenge. Important skill is to throw. Let's do is catching. Let's see if I do. Hunters were injured in the making of this video. Your turn. Oh, cringe. That was a video that I put out on the Blend Ed page way back in May or June, as just sort of one, embarrassing myself publicly, but also just to show that we don't take ourselves too seriously as teachers in the classroom, especially in primary school and in Key Stage 1. So it did definitely take a lot of getting over myself to get to that sort of stage of going, oh, all the parents in my class are going to see what, you know, how goofy and silly I am. But I'm just like, you know what, I actually don't mind that because they're getting to know me a little bit, instead of just the children seeing that I'm, you know, a bit of a messer and things like that. So it was definitely a way for me to bring my personality forward into the classroom. And I must say, I didn't do that alone. Every video that I made was with my Key Stage colleagues. So I did it with my other colleagues, as I said, and we would have just sent each other the videos and compiled them all into one video and shared it out onto Seesaw. And the feedback from that was brilliant. It really pushed some children to be super creative. I even had one child, when I did the long jump going to Bangor and Belfast and back, he outdid me and jumped past the moon and in his video and his challenge. So it was definitely a way that, like, I wouldn't have been able to in the classroom to show 6-year-olds how to green screen themselves and use puppet pals or any of that sort of stuff just to do a long jump. But out of chaos came some creativity, and we loved the feedback that we got from it. And when we did our parental surveys about what they thought of our remote distance practices, definitely the videos were something that the children had said that they were always looking forward to, and I suppose some of the parents did too, because some of them joined in. You always know the parents who are competitive and want to get want to get involved in any of the sports day challenges as well. So I'm going to show you another style of video that we have been doing as a Key Stage, and this one is, before I actually go on to this, I just think Roshi made a really fair point there about we are not professional video editors, we're not actors and actresses, although sometimes it does feel like you have to be constantly switched on, but I sometimes cannot remember everything that I plan to say in my videos. So what I've done on my iPad before, and shout out to Karen from the Blend Ed team, because she definitely showed me this one before, is I just pop my iPad into split screen, and then on one side, on the left hand side here, you can see I've got my Pages document in presenter mode, and then on the right hand side I would have my camera app open, the teleprompter then in Pages, which would just play, or I can scroll it and manually use it myself. But the reason I put the Pages, little top tip, the reason I put the Pages presenter mode on the left is because when I have my iPad turned, on the left hand side is where the camera is, so it looks like I'm looking at the camera, as you can see from the screenshot that I grabbed there. And then on the other side is just the camera app, and then I just screen recorded that. I didn't need to record anything right there and then, just screen record. You don't need to take the photos and anything. So it's a lovely way. Just if you're not confident with ad-libbing and just going off the cuff, this is a really nice way just to use a teleprompter, but also look like you're looking at the camera at the same time. So another example I'm going to show you, and a big thank you to my Key Stage colleagues who volunteered to have their faces spread across Northern Ireland tonight. I'm going to show you how we do some group morning meetings. So usually we have like our registration and things like that, but we want to show children everyone in the team, because sometimes we want to work collaboratively, and I might have Mr. Noble popping a message into my class. I might pop something into Miss McKillop's class. So we're all sharing. So we want everyone to know our faces. And instead of just the screen recording in the top left here, we want to go to this.
Well, hello, boys and girls. I hope you're all well, and welcome back to Digital Land, where all us teachers will be here to help support you and guide you in your learning.
Normally, when we're in school, we do our registration in the morning, but we're going to do things a little bit differently today. So if you're signing into online learning, I want you to leave a comment below with the answer to this question. The answer actually is yellow. Can you tell me what the question is? If the answer is yellow, what is the question? Leave your comments below.
Well, we want you to look to Seesaw to see what your task is going to be, and we will guide you to your booklet on what you have to do that day. And remember, we're so proud of all of you.
Have a great day. Bye.
So there's sort of an example of how we use, that's quite a recent video there of how we've been using video, and it looks a little bit better than just the screen recording of our group call. Hoping this doesn't play again whenever I click on. Don't worry if this is going too fast. I'm going to give you the presentation afterwards so you can see step by step how I did it. We're short on time because we've got loads of people to hear from tonight. But this is just a way that we are going to look uniformed every time that we put out our video, because we're going to have a really slick looking background that we're just going to keep for all our future videos if we go into a blended, remote, or a distance flipped, whatever you call it, teaching again. So when I popped it into green screen, this is just a quick reminder, or if anybody hasn't used green screen before, the top layer is your green screen background, so where I had the little green iPads, as you can see, and in the middle layer is the teacher video underneath it. So I'm going to give you some templates that you can use and you can explore and play with, and you can export these and share them on whatever platform you're using. So if you're using Teams, if you're using Google Classroom, if you're using Seesaw, Class Dojo, whatever it is, you can either use that URL link or scan the QR code. And I've given you this presentation and some templates to get you started. You may need to move the iPads, for example, to like frame them with your face, but go for it and get started. And sure, message me on Twitter, or you can grab my email there, or follow the Blend Ed team and ask us any questions, and all of us are more than happy to help and share with you what we do and how we've used video. So I hope that was bang on time, which is great. So I hope that was useful for y'all, and I look forward to hearing any questions and pop it into the chat now to see what you've been saying. Thank you everybody.
Nicole, thank you very much. I think you're the most fun school ever. It's incredible. It's almost like teaching by TikTok. Those videos they're in like a medium that I think young people just understand instantly.
Well, that's it. We're competing with TikTok. We're competing with Snapchat. So we've got to up our game a little bit, don't we?
Yeah. If you have any questions for Nicole, send them through on the Q&A function. Nicole, like for someone who isn't maybe is feeling as digitally literate or finds that a little bit scary, are there any tips you have for creating an engaging video just on a really basic level? What are the kind of really basic things that people could do to just ensure that they are making something a little bit more?
The first thing I would say is find one platform and stick to it. You know, there's so many different video and editing softwares out there. Pick one and stick to it. So I would stick with Clips to start off with, for example, because it has everything built in, like stickers and posters, and lots of really intuitive ways for you to edit and adapt your videos. But most importantly is start small and then go big, or go bigger. Start with that little short, a short clip that's just yourself. Doesn't need to have all your colleagues in it yet. Start with just you and a background, or even just you, and add in and improve as you go. The difference between my videos at the end of March when we first went into lockdown versus the end of June is night and day. It was such a transformation because I learnt as I was doing it. I would have a passion for technology and I am keen to go and learn it. But I would definitely cringe if I showed you some of the videos back in March because they weren't where I got them to by June, and by that, like the last video I showed you was last week. So definitely it's a journey and a process, and to be kind to yourself that you're not going to look professional, but equally Roisin said it, we're not meant to be professional, but we're also meant to go on a journey of learning in CPD like we're all doing now on a Tuesday night. Rocking up here online because like teachers are so dedicated and so motivated to learn. So yeah, be kind to yourself, start small and bring in the extra things as you get more confident.
Trust me, and Nicole, some of those videos are better than some of the stuff we're putting out, so don't do yourself a disservice. If you do have questions for Roisin, again, put them in the Q&A function, and Roisin will bring you back then at the end to have another chat. What was that?
Oh, but also give Roisin questions too.
Oh yeah. We'll be grilling you all, don't worry.
Bring it on.
Nicole, thanks very much.